Hey everyone, welcome to Total Packers with Matt LaFleur, presented by Software One, Larry McCarren, along with the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. And Matt, 4 losses, 3 of them 1 play away. Are you that close? Do you feel that way?
Oh, that's life in the National Football League, and unfortunately, we've had opportunities in 3 of those 4 losses with the ball in our hand and a chance to go take the lead or win the game, and we haven't been able to make those plays in order to get that done. So there is a lot of promise. I think there's been some moments of consistent complementary football, and then there's been some inconsistencies as well. So our guys are keeping the right mentality, the right attitude. This will really test you, and it is testing us right now.
Matt, the slow starts, how are you looking at that?
I think you look at it as a game-by-game basis, and is your plan reflective of what you anticipate getting from a defense? Are you putting your players in a position to go out there and have success? And then ultimately, are you executing when the plays are there to be made? And I think we've seen a little bit of lack of execution, maybe some wrinkles that we've seen from an offensive standpoint. And ultimately, collectively, we've got to do a better job, coaches and players.
Matt, you've outscored your opponents. On the flip side of that, you've outscored your opponents 56-18 in the 3rd quarter. You've also outscored them in the 4th quarter. What's going on there as a matter of execution, sense of urgency? How are you seeing that?
Yeah, that is a heck of a question, because it's not like we're coming up with a whole new game plan at halftime. Certainly adjustments occur throughout the course of a game. I do think there's a little bit more urgency from us, from all of us, players and coaches, and we got to make sure that we come out with that same urgency to start a game.
Matt, Jordan Love has had his moments, both good and bad. What do you want to see from your young quarterback moving forward?
I just think it's that consistent approach. I think when you look at this past game, in the second half, especially in those critical moments, the 3rd downs, the 4th downs, we were able to go out there and execute, sustain drives, and score points. And we lacked that a little bit in the first half, where we had a busted route on a 3rd down, we have a premier look and a man beater, and we miss a throw down the field. So it's just, all in all, it's just more that consistent execution, especially in those critical situations.
At that position, quarterback, do some mistakes almost have to be made in order to grow?
I think absolutely. I think it's part of the process, and you never want to learn that way. You'd rather learn more from your successes than your failures. But I think ultimately, too, it's never just about the quarterback. It takes 10 other men doing their jobs consistently in order to help everybody have success out on that field.
Matt, defensively, you're keeping them off the board, and that is job one. How about all the other stuff? I'm talking takeaways, tackling. Are you comfortable with the work of that unit?
Well, I think there's been moments where it's looked really good. I think we've got to find a way to generate more takeaways. Certainly missed far too many tackles against the Broncos, but I thought, on a positive note, our red zone defense was really good, keeping them out of the end zone, holding them to 3 points. That usually will give you enough to win games.
Thank you, Matt. Coming up, AJ Dillon, don't go away.
Handoff to Dillon, blasting left side, busting a big one, like a pinball, AJ Dillon.
Total Packers with Matt LaFleur is brought to you by your local Chevy dealers, by Bell & Health, and by Johnsonville. This one-on-one is brought to you by Brew Pub, lots of matzo pizza. AJ, you are very well spoken, extremely accessible, but doing an interview with you is kind of intimidating. You're better at this stuff than I am. What's the secret?
The secret's just coming on, and I take my notes. I watch my film on you, and so I have a game plan on what to say ahead of time.
Tough times, challenging times. What's the best thing AJ can do for the team right now?
The best thing I can do right now for the team, I think, is, stepping up and, continuing to be a leader just by action, making sure that every time I walk into the facility, I got my head up, I'm locked in, attention to detail, and, kind of practicing what I preach and trying to get better every day.
AJ, I've always thought that leadership starts with performance. And I thought a great example on your part was in the Raider game. That was leadership by performance. What was going on through your head at that time?
Thinking back to the Raiders game, I think, at halftime, it's kind of one of those situations where we felt like we could move the ball. We felt like, we were doing some things and kind of getting some movement, but we obviously hadn't finished up to that point. The mentality was, let's go out there and let's just play our game. Let's, they can't mess with us when we're all dialed in.
You play what can be a very me position, and yet you guys have made it a we position. How have you done that?
It really comes down to being locked into the goal. We all want to be 1-0 this week. Like that's the goal. And so however we get there, whether I'm only doing pass protection today, or I only have 2 carries, or whatever it is, or Aaron has 1, or whatever the case is, or Emmanuel's the lead guy that day. That's what matters.
Handoff to Dillon, blasting left side, 20, 15, barrel down along to the pass marks. AJ Dillon busting a big one.
I wasn't like eavesdropping purposely, but I could hear you talking to your teammates after the Denver game. You were talking about keeping things in perspective. Could you talk about that a little bit?
I mean, I prefaced it with the biggest thing is sticking together. Those dog days of camp, those hard practices, all that stuff, only we know what we've been through. We're out there. This is what we have. These guys in the locker room, everybody's there for a reason. I trust every single person in there. I said myself included, going back, we're going to watch film on Monday, figure out a couple things where you can get better, and have it better by Wednesday. And then by the time we get to Sunday, you made hopefully 4 better corrections on yourself and your 4 plays better. You're still not going to play 100% on Sunday, but hopefully those 4 plays are the 4 plays collectively that help us win these games, because we're never out of any games. So far, we've always been there, either on the winning side or the losing side, but we've had a chance and opportunity. So if we get 11 guys all doing 4 plays better, we got 44 better plays potentially. I mean, that could definitely win a game. And so that was really the message, just keeping it into perspective. Nobody needs to press a panic button. We're all we got, we're all we need, and nobody needs to do anything alone. We all do it together, hold each other accountable, but trust and love and respect for one another, and what we do out there is gonna get it done, and it'll come together eventually. And if nothing else, we're gonna grow and we're gonna get better from it.
Welcome back. This week's Chalk Talk is brought to you by Network Health. In spite of the tough times, there are reasons to believe. Reasons like big guys playing big. Zach Tom. This is not searching and destroying. This is searching and splattering. You know what that's like? It's like a block shot in basketball. Rejected. The Packers also have not so big guys playing big. Dontavian Wicks. You talk about effort, you talk about finish, you're seeing it all right here. The Packers no longer have Allen the Goon Lazard, but they still have the best blocking wide receivers in the business, bar none. The Packers are also paying attention to the details. Watch how precise and intentional this pass route by Romeo Doubs is. He almost saunters off the line of scrimmage, selling the play action. And then a little move one way and an explosive move the other way. And he's working against Pat Surtain, one of the best in the business. And this ball is 50-50 at best. And Romeo Doubs just flat out refuses to lose. And as much as anything, the Packers have a trigger man who's not afraid to pull the trigger under tough circumstances. Look at Jordan Love right here. He is moving left, he is throwing right, and he's got to snake that ball around a mass of humanity right in front of him. And he still puts it in a spot where his receiver can make a play. Reasons to believe.
The thing that gives me a lot of hope is just knowing the response that I see from our team in the locker room, in the meeting rooms, on the practice field. These guys aren't afraid of a challenge, and right now we have a challenge.
Total Packers with Matt LaFleur is brought to you by Network Health, by your Wisconsin Toyota dealers, and by Software One, redefining how companies build, buy, and manage everything in the cloud. The Packers and Bellin Health are featuring an exclusive hat for Packers versus Cancer. Join the fight today and help the Vince Lombardi Cancer Foundation. Visit PackersProShop.com.
It's something that hit my life hard. When I was at my highest, I feel like I was at my lowest at the same time. Signed with the Packers. Before that, I was with the Raiders. My mom lives in Vegas, so I was always around my mom for like the first part of my career. And then when I get here, yeah, probably like a month, 2 in, I get the news that, you know, she has breast cancer. My mom's name is Dwayne Spiller. My mom as a person is a strong woman, doesn't really ask for much, rather do it herself. Had a bunch of kids and she took care of all of us by herself. No matter what we needed, she figured it out and got it done. As a mom, she was cool. No matter what I did, my mom never took me out of football. She's been at all my games since I was a kid. I always heard her on the sideline screaming, go baby, you know what I'm saying? So she was always there. Like, wow, it's like something can happen to my mom. You know, she's always been there through my whole life. And it was scary for me, honestly. It kind of hit me hard because I was way out here and not really understanding like how bad the cancer is. So all I can do is call her. But she stayed strong and she told me don't worry about her, just focus on football, focus on my kids and making sure that I do what I need to do to take care of them. My confidence has always been there. I always knew I was who I said I was. I just needed the opportunity to do it. I caught fire at the end of the year at the right time, and the rest is history.
Good evening and welcome to a chilly, cool night at Lambeau Field as the Packers take on the Los Angeles Rams.
That was her first game coming. She was cold. She had like layers on and stuff like that, and then just me seeing her on the sideline pregame, that was just like a boost for me.
And here comes Nixon on the left side at the 2 to the 10. Along the numbers, cutting right 15. Makes the turn. He's to the 20, 25, 30. Right sideline, 35, 40. Down to the 50. Inside the 50-yard line. Keyshawn Nixon is just electric on kickoff return.
Had a hell of a game. Just knowing that she was there. After that, once my mom came, my confidence was through the roof. Every week it was like they had to see me. And we broke a big one against Minnesota.
Here comes Nixon to the 5. Left hash marks 10, 15. Hits a hole hard. He's to the 25, 30. Breaks into the clear. Keyshawn Nixon is off to the races. No one will catch him. It is a touchdown for Keyshawn Nixon. My goodness.
My mom's doing really well. She came to family night this year. My mom was just excited. She's just a strong woman, great mom. When I went to Bellin Health and I got to see like all of a sudden my mom always texted me and FaceTime me about like, you know, she had chemo and she would tell me she's tired, long days. So me going to the hospital and actually seeing what my mom was going through, but I'm seeing, you know, people still have joy. I really got a lot of respect for doctors because, You know, you never know. Like, they save a lot of people's lives, especially when you catch cancer early. All you can do is catch it early and fight it. Never feel like you're alone. It can be a neighbor and they going through the same thing. You never know who's going through it. Like myself, I'm an athlete and I had a great year, but in the back of my head the whole time just thinking about my mom. Man, just stay strong and have faith and believe in God. So me being one of the head faces for the Packers versus cancer this year, I think it's a big deal for me. I think it's a big deal for my mom. Just to show her that I care about what she's going through and how much I love her. And I just think it's another big step for me.
Welcome back to Total Packers with Matt LaFleur. Top Performers is brought to you by Spectrum. Welcome back, and Matt, I want to talk about some top performers. And Dontavian Wicks, besides his quarterback rating of 118.8, is he doing enough good stuff to warrant more opportunities?
I think absolutely. He's made some critical plays for us. I think one thing that we place a premium on is run blocking and the physicality of that, and he's definitely shown merit there. He had a very impressive play on that throw to Aaron Jones, but also making tough catches over the middle, and then the run after the catch has been pretty impressive. He's a guy that's got great flexibility in his lower half. He can run routes. He can play on his insteps. He's got good speed. So he's a guy that we definitely got to try to integrate more into our offense.
Defensively, Kingsley Enagbare has a way of showing up. He can rush the passer. He can make impactful plays against the run. And it's not unusual for him to make a play or two on special teams.
Yeah, he's been all over the place. And the one thing you can count on, we call him JJ, is that you are going to get relentless effort for him. On every play, no matter what he's asked to do, he is a consistent force for us.
Thank you, Matt. Coming up, the last word from the coach. Don't go away. Welcome back. The Last Word with Matt LaFleur is brought to you by Construction Business Group and Wisconsin Operating Engineers. Welcome back. Time for the last word from the coach and Matt. Back home for the first time in about a month to face the Vikings, who from afar seem to be a team in transition, but they are the defending division champs.
Yeah, this team's got a lot of talent. Obviously, Kirk Cousins is a guy that we got a lot of respect for. He's been playing at a high level for a long time. And then they have new leadership on the defensive side of the ball with Brian Flores. And he's going to throw a lot of pressure at you, a lot of different looks, and it can make it very challenging for us.
Will it be somewhat of a refreshing change of pace to play a familiar opponent?
Yeah, they're familiar in a sense, especially on special teams and on offense. But like I mentioned, with Flores there, the defense has a totally different look to it. But this is an important game. Obviously, an NFC North rival. They're the defending champs. So we're going to have to make sure we have a great week of prep in order to go out there and get a win.
Matt, thank you. Good luck against the Vikings, and thank you for watching. Until next time, take care.